Hi everyone, so welcome to my second video for my Women and Money Week. So today I would love to share about the top 3 money mindset traps that we always tell ourselves. So this was something that I went through as well. So I totally can resonate with you. But what I did was that the first thing is awareness. Second thing is to understand the story behind the money mindset traps. And then the third one is to make a decision. So the Lydia that you're seeing right now is very different from the Lydia that you would have met 2-3 years ago, even, because I have completely rewritten my money beliefs and my money stories. So in my previous video, I talk about the stories that our society tells us, and because of the society stories, we built that and programmed that into our belief system. And individually, all of us have stories from family beliefs that are being told to us when we were kids, and especially when as babies and as kids, we are just a blank piece of paper. We are really imprinted very deeply from the age of 0 to 7 years old based on whatever that we see around us. So if you grow up to be in a family where money is seen as evil, where it has ruined relationship, you will fear money that way as well. You will feel that money is a root of all evil and it will destroy relationships. So you never want to dabble into having business relationship with your friends because you're afraid to ruin the friendship. And another example would, however, you can have another individual who is growing up in a family with very stable stable finances, but she always see her parents save and save and save. So she ends up having that saving mentality as well, which may have been very relevant when they were in, when you're afraid to put food on the table, so you always need to kind of stuff money into tin cans and stuff like that. But this is no longer applicable in our modern society where things are going so fast, where there's options everywhere, and when money is available to both men and women. Okay, so the very first money mindset traps that I would love to introduce is that it's foreign to me. Okay, money is foreign to me, so that's why I don't dabble in it. Okay, this is one thing that a lot of women play up to themselves. They fear that they would actually challenge their husband, or they fear that they would end up making losses in their family, and then it actually ruins the dynamics of the family and so on, because it is of something that's foreign. But trust me that we are all wired to protect ourselves. We are all wired to never go into something that's unknown territory, because within our human DNA, all of us are meant to be in a survival mode. Okay, you look back on the past, in the hunting times, if any of us step out of the community, any understand us to be different, we are putting ourselves up to being eaten up by the lions. But get it that right now it is no longer the case. Okay, right now you won't be eaten by the lions, or eaten by the get trampled by the elephant and so on, because it is no longer applicable in our society. However, all of us being humans, we actually still have that reptile brain that's within us. There's always that survival mode. Okay, but it is when we actually make that choice to no longer be available for survival mode. I'm here to thrive. I'm here to want a life of abundance. I'm here to wanting so much more and having all this goodness that life has to offer. Then that's when you make the decision that I'm not here just to survive. I'm here to thrive. I had a post that I think it's out already, but I wrote about how we choose to be a mother to thrive and not to survive. Okay, so anything that's foreign, your brain will always tell you that you can't do it. It's fearful, you will lose this and that. But it has been proven psychologically that women are a lot more holistic thinkers. So we tend to always look at everything as a complete big picture, because that's how we are wired. Whereas men tend to be overconfident in investment. A lot of them don't set themselves up for long-term horizon. That's why a lot of them, men are always the one that is like hanging around the water cooler talking about how cheap that they bought this Apple share for and so on, as like it's kind of like an ego boosting thing, I don't know. But whereas women, we are always a bit more conservative. We're always looking at the long perspective, and because we have so much at stake, we got to take care of our family, we got to take care of our career, and we got to take care of our family, of even our parents. We tend to look at things at a very protective, at a very holistic and a long-term approach. So even if, let's say, the market kinds of like gets shaken up a little bit, we are not too worried because we're here for the long term. Whereas you compare that to men, for example, they tend to be very shaken by any, in Chinese we call it feng shui cao dong. Any small little changes, they get very shaken and it spreads like, and then fear spreads like wildfire, because fear can spread like wildfire. It goes on in the men's chat about how they must sell off, and then it becomes very a lot of emotional buying. So there is this concept about behavioral finance, about how a lot of people often lose a lot more money in the long run because they buy into their emotions, which women, we tend to be a little bit away from that, and it actually plays to our advantage because it is within our DNA that we are a lot more holistic and long-term approach. All right, so same thing, something good, you can look at it, a gift that we have, you can look it at, oh, I will never be able to dabble into that. Or on the other hand, hey, I think it might play up to my advantage. Which one? You decide. Okay, the second thing is that it's a man's game. Like what I said, it's a man's game. And a lot of women tend to actually always leave the finances to the men, thinking that the men can invest better. But like what I shared earlier on, that sometimes men can focus too much on investment, they can be overconfident, and then they overinvest, and they often overlook on the insurance part. Okay, of course, not saying all men, but in my experience as a financial advisor, I always find the men are always the one. I will go for like investment, or even when they are really young, they tell me directly that, you know, I don't need insurance because nothing will happen to me. Men tend to be overconfident that way. It's an ego boosting thing. And then whereas the women tend to be a lot more conservative and a lot more stable. So it can play up to our advantage in this way. And the last one is that another money mindset trap is that a lot of women tend to say that I need to have a lot of money before I get started. Okay, when we actually do investing, or even whether you purchase a company's plans or unit trusts or mutual funds, or you even start off really simple, managing the household budget. Okay, because managing the household budget will get you really clear down to the basics of your in and out. And again, if you're going to be CEO mom, you've got to know your in and out really well. And this is what I also share in my private clients, that if a lot of them, they like what you call like really oh, I'm not so clear about it, I don't know how much I'm spending. I said, you've got to be clear. You've got to be clear about your cash flow. And I put in, and I tell them, if you're going to have dates with yourself to do spa, and you're going to have dates with yourself to do facial, you're going to have your date with your money as well. Okay, which means carving out that time, that 2-3 hours, just look through all of your statements, your credit cards. Are you overpaying? Are you underpaying? Is there anything that is not on that automated payment system? Is there anything that have you overspent for the month, over budgeted? And a lot of women tend to not be too clear in this aspect, because they seeing the cash flow intimidates them, or rather seeing the cash flow triggers them. Okay, but look at it this way, money is no good, no bad. It is the stories that we tell ourselves, again, starting from family, childhood, from the experience that we had when we were growing up, that determines the relationship with money. And the same thing, a relationship with a man can be good or bad based on your experience with your father, or your father figure, or experience with your brothers. Isn't it the same thing? And then it will bring on to relationship with your money. Okay, and if you're not going to get good with money, you will never have lots of it. That's the truth. Because whenever, trust me, that if there's a golden investment opportunity that comes along, but because of all your fears, all of your money mindset traps that you trap yourself in, you will not dare to take up the investment opportunity when others would have snatched it at a glance. So again, this is a wonderful sharing for all of you guys out there, because money mindset is something that we got to get clear on. The money narrative that we had, our family growing up, our childhood, and this is one of the big things that I actually help my clients get started on before we even get to that client stage. Okay, because if you can't uncover this aspect, if you can't uncover this and really confront the issue about the triggers and see the triggers, that all it is just a story and it's not the truth, you won't be able to set up a profitable business. Okay, but whether business or not, even if you are working in a full-time work, getting your household budget clear, getting your cash flow, your in and out, is something that you got to commit to yourself. And that every one of us, if you're going to have a haircut date, you're going to have a spa date, a facial date, you got to have a money date as well. Okay, so this is a beautiful message that I would love to share with all of you ladies. I'm actually having something really exciting rolling out, so watch out on my social media feed, because I feel so passionate about women and money. I feel that is something that not just a country's perspective, it's not just isolated to country or like isolated based on age group, but it is something that we all feel as a gender across the world. Okay, so thank you for watching me on this, and stay tuned on my social feed for and a really exciting bonus coming up. All right, thank you.